Hey everybody, how's it going? We're continuing the step 5 in recovery, and I got my buddy Richard with me. And Richard is the director of communications with the Crop organization.
Yep.
And I asked Richard to share a little bit about what he does and what his organization is all about.
My name is Richard. I'm with the Crop organization. We our ultimate vision, our ultimate mission is to redefine the way people think about prison in America and to transform the culture of restorative institutions. You know, a lot of people, most people call them prisons, but we're looking with the visionary perspective that they can have, instead of being places where people go to be punished, that they could be in the future one day where people go to be restored.
Nice.
These are our citizens.
Yeah.
We all fall short of the glory of God daily. Everyone makes mistakes, poor choices, decisions. Some of us made decisions that cost us a lot of time there. I myself was sentenced to 25 years to life and spent 21 years in there. And that's the place where God began to restore my life. So our mission with the Crop organization is to
go ahead,
work on those, help those, not only with their transformation on the inside, but with also coming out here as a responsible citizen, ready to hit the ground running, ready to work and be a contribution to society.
Oh, perfect. See, that's what recovery is really about. And that is one of the reasons I asked Richard to walk with me and share a little bit about his lessons learned on step 5. If you haven't picked up on it, Richard's also a theologian and a philosopher. He hasn't maybe said any of his philosophy, but I've hung around him enough to know that he definitely has that in him. So how about your title? You're a director of communications. What does that entail exactly?
Okay.
Because step 5 is about talking and sharing, right? So
right. As far as my title with the Crop organization, for the last year I've been working on a podcast. It's called The Prison Post. We'll be launching soon.
We'll be putting links.
Amen. And with the Prison Post, we started off with, I've been doing interviews with currently and formerly incarcerated and inviting them to share their transformational stories. A lot of people think that people go to prison or, these restorative institutions and they just stay the same. And it's just simply not true. There are many people with profound transformational stories of what God has done in their life, or receiving master's degrees, 2 master's degrees, and just completely changing. So I'd like to bring those stories out here to people in America, so they can see that there are people that are changing in there, and to redirect the narrative towards, reminding people that these are our fellow human beings.
Yep.
That are worthy of a second chance. We're in the business of second chances.
Nice. So that's perfect. That's perfect that you said that, Richard, because Richard's also a person that's in recovery, and he's familiar with the 12 steps. So I have a couple questions for him, and he's going to share with us some of his insight. So Richard, why is confession important?
I think you talked about step 5, Pete, and it says, I admitted to God and to myself and to another human being the exact nature of my wrongs. For me, June 10th will be 20 years of sobriety.
Woo!
That's my sobriety date.
Nice.
I got
Congrats.
sober on the inside. Thank you. And the first part, admitting to God, was my first humility moment. That was the first time getting honest. But getting honest with self came next. But it wasn't until 2015 when I completed the 5th step. I admitted to God, to myself, and to another human being the exact nature of my wrongs.
Yep.
And I got a sponsor. And I had been going to AA and recovery groups, Christian recovery groups, since 2003. And it wasn't until 2015 when I finally worked the 5th step all the way and confessed. And it's a moment where we look inside and get honest about all the things that we've been hiding. And there's no freedom in hiding. There's no ultimate peace in hiding. God knows all anyways. And getting with a sponsor, his purpose is to take whatever we share to the grave, but that there's healing and there's freedom in getting honest. The big book talks about rigorous honesty.
Yeah, good. All right, man, that was perfect. And what are some benefits? You know, what are some things that are good about confessing? Because it can feel ugly, right? It can feel yucky, really. I mean, that's why a lot of people stop. So, what do you think people really get out of confessing?
Yeah, you're right. It can feel yucky. It can feel like it's causing more harm than good. It could feel burdensome. It could feel all kinds of different ways, you know. For that reason, most people don't share. But when we do share, there are payoffs. I came out of my Step 5 meeting after 4.5 hours with my sponsor, and I felt free. I felt, even though I had a personal relationship with God, even though I had known Jesus Christ on a deep level and shared with Him, repented and confessed to Him, to share with another human being the exact nature of my wrongs, I walked away from there feeling refreshed, cleansed, and the most free that I have felt in a long time, if not ever. So the benefits of feeling empowered, freedom, healed.
There you go. All through confession.
Yeah, through it wasn't easy in the moment. I think James, the brother of our Lord, said, confess ye your faults to one another and you will be healed. And so there was healing. And not only that, but one of the greatest opportunities that I never thought I would have was the opportunity to talk to the person that I had victimized and harmed in my parole board hearing. I was given the opportunity to make amends. I always expected to receive nothing but judgment, and to be told, I hope you die in here. But it was the opposite. It was the opposite. And next to my salvation, the greatest thing that ever happened was to be able to be in the same room with those whom I harmed and their family members, who had great fear and resentment and judgment for me, and see there be a shift, and see that they were willing to forgive me. And my commissioner tell me, after he found me suitable in my parole board hearing, which only 2% of guys incarcerated receive suitability in their first parole hearing, he said, you know what you did in that room today? You brought healing. You brought healing to that family, and that's a good family, and they're forgiving you, man. They're forgiving you. That doesn't happen every day. So that was an unexpected benefit of being willing to, first, doing the work of looking inside. And second, being honest, practicing rigorous honesty, confessing, and then being willing to fall on the sword, get honest, and come what may. Come what may.
I think Richard, man, brings up a good point, and that's something for those of you that are in recovery and struggling with Step 5 especially, that when you forgive yourself, there's something different about you, and it's easier for other people to see that change in you, and then they can let go too, and then let you know that you're all right and that they're no longer mad, and you don't have to be fearful or feel guilty anymore about what you may have done to harm people. So that was beautifully stated. So that's all we have for today, and there'll be links and definitely more to hear from Richard. All right, everybody, you have a good day.